make it out of nothing. The daily grind. Keep pursuing, rise with me to the top. The daily grind.
Wake up.
It's the Daily Grind. With SP and Legacy Jones.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Robert Sproul, aka SP,
What's going on, y'all? This is Marcus McLeod, aka Legacy Jones.
and this is episode number 9. This week's guest,
Oh, damn.
his family's owned the business since 1969. That's 49 years,
Good gracious.
older than myself. The business has been around since 1948. She's 70 years,
Older than yourself.
older than myself again.
Math.
It's Washington State's first drive-through restaurant. They've received Best of South Sound's burger category year after year after year
Ain't nobody touching them. I'm full.
after year. Yeah, we just got through eating those as well as pizza, but we'll get into that. This year, he added to the mantle Thurston County's Economic Development Council Small Business of the Year. I need you guys to make some noise for none other than Big Tom's owner, Mike Fritch, y'all.
How's it going, man?
Good. Is that okay to clap for myself?
I would think so.
Hey, yeah.
Pat myself on the head a little bit.
Just checking to
There
see
we
if you're here still.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, that's fair. That's
Yeah, it
fair.
is.
Well, let's get straight to it, Mike. So your name's Mike. Where did the name Big Tom come from?
The lady who started the entire business back in 1948 had 3 sons, one of them named Tom. So over the years, it went from being called In-N-Out Hamburgers. If you look at the pictures on our site, we were actually at In-N-Out Hamburgers before In-N-Out Hamburgers was by about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So, and she, though, was a really dynamic personality. Her name was Millie Egan. So then it became called, everybody said, you know, let's go see Millie or let's go see Egan's. And over the years, her son Tom had his own special burger. He was a big boy. He wanted a big burger. He wanted a double meat, double cheese. And so they started calling it the Big Tom. And as people that worked for them started buying the businesses and they weren't owned by Egan's anymore, they started going under the name Big Tom. So you had Eastside Big Tom, and you had Egan's Big Tom out in Tumwater, and you had one in Lacey, eventually winding up with like 9 of them. But yeah, the Tom name itself came from the youngest son, Tom.
He was the favorite.
So
That was the favorite.
It seems like he was the favorite.
there's a burger named after him. There's a Jim Dandy.
Okay.
After the son Jim, there's a Bob's Bodacious barbecue burger that we shorten way up and just say barbecue. so there's a burger for all 3 of them there. The Jim Dandy was another one. The mom didn't like making it, and Jim Egan himself didn't like Goop, didn't like his mom's own secret sauce.
Oh,
So
okay.
he would come through and get this double meat single cheese because he had to be weird, and then throw it all up and do mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato. No pickles because he hated pickles. So then mom wouldn't put that on the menu. He bought the place from his mother. Then it was the very first thing he did was he named the burger after himself, Jim, and his favorite dog was named Dandy, so he named this burger after himself.
I was gonna ask.
His dog.
I was gonna ask where the
his
Dandy
Jim
came
Dandy.
from. Like, who is
So,
Dandy?
Yeah, that was his doggy.
That's cool. You had mentioned off camera that you bought the business 9 years ago from your parents. What were you doing beforehand?
I sold toys and women's fashion accessories.
Oh.
My parents had an import business where we brought in cheap toys, the stuff you see at carnivals and street fairs.
Oh, okay.
My parents were responsible for bringing containers and containers of that into the country every year, and then I sold it on the telephone.
No.
And did trade shows and sold women's fashion accessories and
What kind of accessories?
scarves.
Oh,
Hats.
okay.
Thank
Look
you.
at you.
Oh, yeah, I never took it there. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate
I thought you were being
Jake.
light with that
No,
conversation.
no,
like
no.
accessories. I'm like, what
No,
kind of accessories?
magic scarves and bubbled, whatever the trendy fabric things were at the time. So we sold handbags and
To the Mary
when
Kay ladies.
Nah, beyond that, hospital gift shops. A lot of hospital gift shops. A lot of craft stores. The Ben Franklin Crafts and those.
Oh, okay.
Totally unglamorous.
He said totally
Totally,
unglamorous. With Big Tom's being such an established business, as well as history, and the success speaks for itself, what avenues do you continue to take in regards to marketing instead of like living off the legacy?
Oh, I'm the king of social media in my own mind.
Okay.
So we spend, and as my wife will tell you, an inordinate amount of time social media wise. I'm always on the phone. I'm always, reaching out to folks, and any stupid thing that crosses my mind winds up unfortunately online. So the weirdest ideas just are some of the ones that hit the best with people. Doctoring up photos, inserting our little Big Tom icon into a lot of iconic photos. So the Beatles' Abbey Road crossing, if you look, I yanked Paul McCartney out of that and put Big Tom instead.
Oh, nice.
People ate that stuff up, right on there. Paul who?
Right.
So
no, I like stuff like that because I feel like what happens a lot of times with businesses, because they are staples in communities, that they become so complacent as a business, because it's just like, oh, we're very successful, we're gonna live off of what it's been. You don't have to change because you already have business, and it goes from mom and dads to their kids coming through just based on those principles and stuff. So it's definitely dope to hear that.
For me, it's always like, how can I create more jobs? Right. Everything is, okay, what can I do to make even more people employed?
Right.
So, we did that with, we didn't need an ice cream business, but we took the restaurant and then opened up in the building next to it. We did ice cream, and then when ice cream was slowing down for the season, we popped pizza in there and kept those people employed and added a bunch of jobs. We're working on putt-putt golf next.
Oh, what?
But we're going to do a free putt-putt golf for the community.
Nice.
So in that parking lot in the other half of the block, we're going to use the back third of that. And again, that will just draw more people in. And it's not to make, it is to make more money, but not to make me more money. It's to create more jobs.
Yeah.
It's just create jobs where we, and I'm not patting myself on the back here too hard, but one of our pushes is always, I want you in school. I want not just high school, but I want you in college, and you better be able to tell us, because we're going to give you shit. If you can't tell me what your end plan is, you need to be making something of yourself so you can go off, get into your profession, have a family, whatever, send me your kids like 16 years later, so we can just keep doing that.
Right.
We strive to work around schedules. When I used to do my own scheduling before I got a manager to do it, was one of the worst things every week, was trying to work around everybody's. You'd have 18 employees, you'd have 10 college schedules to work around every week. And every week you'd try to mix it up so it wouldn't just be the same schedule week after week. So it's a giant. I try to be fair. Sometimes I look at them, I was like, fuck them. They asked for last weekend off work. You got to work some nights
on Saturday.
Yeah. So, but we would try to work around them and do that, and hope that they appreciate it and realize that you're creating better human beings by treating them like human beings. You humanize them and hope that even if they don't realize it, they're picking it up in some way throughout the job experience. And some of them would leave. There's people I fired that come back. I want to say 7 of the staff in there right now, of the 28 people that I have worked for me at least once before, and have either left with the giant, we're out of here, and they get out there and they find out, okay, I actually got to get away with a lot of crap.
Right.
And they'll come back, or they'll go out and they'll find that they go to work for somebody else, but that person isn't going to give them time off to go to school. School isn't the most important, unfortunately, for a lot of employers. The bottom line is, and I live pretty modestly. I don't have to make a lot of money. Is that almost crying shit I told you about?
Tissue.
Yeah. So no, it's just you just give back to your community where you can. Right. So we're always looking for another way to do that. The putt-putt golf is going to be fun. It's going to be free. Screw with your mic.
Sorry.
Did I mention that I talk with my hands a lot?
It's all good.
So do we.
Yeah, this is good. We're all going to get along. But the putt-putt golf will create more jobs.
Right.
It's going to be free. It'll add to the community. People will be able to bring their families in, do something, on the cheap. Will they buy ice cream and pizza? Oh, fuck yes. Yep. So, I'm not nobody's fool here. They're going to buy food at the same time. But
birthday parties.
Yeah, just
but you're opening more doors.
Yeah,
you're opening more doors for
and
people.
It's one more skill set. We're going to teach the kids. They're learning burgers, they're learning customer service, they're learning all these different weird facets of the business that they don't realize they will use as a skill set, as a whole skill set down the road. So, and it's only as I've gotten older I realized that myself, because I didn't realize before that I actually kind of started adulting without meaning to.
Right.
So not all the time, mind you, but
now, have you had have you had kids or people come that you guys are their first job?
Lots of them.
And I feel like that's the best, because it gives them a learning experience.
It does.
Because people will go to some places and be like, oh, you need 3 years of experience of this,
Oh, yeah.
2 years of this, but then you'll tell them no. Like, and it's like, well, how do you expect me to learn? Like,
Right.
if you're not gonna be willing to give me the experience. Like,
Right.
No, everybody's got to have a chance.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Definitely dig that. Well, what's the biggest seller that you added to the menu when you took it over?
No, Boca Burgers.
Oh,
Boca Burgers.
So yeah. I don't remember why. Remember why we decided to do vegetarianism? So that was it. Okay, that passed. So for a few years though, we did vegetarianism, and I wanted to do Boca patties in the restaurant. So we brought them in and thought, okay, we'll sell a couple.
those things stink.
Well, yeah, coming and going. So it's did I say that on camera?
Very much so.
Yeah,
And
okay.
hey, it's the truth.
So it is, but they're so tasty, especially with Goop. They taste so good. What do you think of the one with Goop? Am I allowed to talk to? What can I break the wall here? So
They were off the chain, man.
yeah.
And that's the guy behind the camera letting me know.
Yeah,
Shout out
so
Khalil on the camera,
that's it.
finally getting his first voice cameo.
That's it. So now the Boca has been a huge hit, and then now the vegetarian chicken, which we're now running on a pizza. We're like, and for us, vegetarian chicken is one of those things. They're amazing. There's these funny little strips, and they're breaded, and they look like real chicken. About once a month, we'll get a phone call from somebody saying I was in your place, and they're pissed off. They're like, I was there, and I ordered vegetarian chicken, and they put real chicken on my fucking burger, and it's like, oh, I knew it, you guys are bastards, and this is why I never come there. And you ruined me for life. And I'm like, were they strips or was it a solid piece? And they're like, well, it was 3 strips. I'm like, well, then that was vegetarian. And so I have to politely say that while mentally thinking, shut the
Fuck up.
seriously.
Oh my God.
But they're good. The
Right.
Gardein, they are amazing. They're this Canadian brand, award-winning in Canada for what they make, and you can fool people all day long. You will not know if I don't tell you you're having vegetarian chicken.
The funny thing is this: that person that called in said it tastes like real chicken, but
Yeah.
they're a vegan.
Yeah, like for real.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave that right there.
Set that on the table, walk away.
Right. Look, I've been a big fan of Goop since high school. You know, I went to Thurston. Who came up with the sauce, and do you guys have your own special recipe that you use? Because I see other businesses use it as well.
So Millie Egan came up with it in 1947.
Okay.
Spent a year working on it until they opened the place in 1948. It is mayonnaise, mustard, sweet pickle relish, and salad dressing.
Oh, okay.
So just 4 things. And
No secret, just straight.
Oh no, it's supposed to be a secret. Right now, someplace here, if Tim Egan is watching this, fuck you. I love you, Tim, but I just gave it away again. I gave it away on Evening Magazine a few years ago too. Friggin' Egan family started getting a hold of me so fast.
Like, what are you doing?
I didn't give the proportions out. I mean, I will if you ask. But it's not a secret anymore. Here's the thing. It was a secret.
Right.
The name Goop is actually copyrighted for use in the state of Washington by the Egan family.
Oh,
my family has a special dispensation that Tom Egan and my dad put together a million years ago, so we're allowed to use it. Technically, any place else you go that isn't us or Tim Egan out here at Egan's in Tumwater, they're not allowed to use it.
So you guys have to make it in-house then?
Oh yeah, we make it.
Okay.
We could probably have it made someplace else, but then you start to lose control. You don't know that they're using
The right proportions.
it's not even the proportion so much. The salad dressing and the mayonnaise has to be a certain consistency. It has to be a certain grade. I mean, because there are obviously multiple levels of mayonnaise, and again, as a kid, I didn't believe any of this crap. My parents would say it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, and now as an adult, it's like, wait, you mixed that wrong. So I can taste that. You didn't stir that, 27 times counterclockwise. You
got
stopped
enough
at 20.
mayo
You
in
stopped
there.
at 23. So, well, because we're making 100 pounds at a time.
Damn.
Yeah, and multiple times a day. During a week, during the summer, we'll make like 3,000 pounds of it during a week.
Oh, wow.
So we sell a lot of Goop and then give a lot away too. It's one of those little weird secrets. If you show up at the restaurant, if you're having like a barbecue or you're having a little backyard thing,
Right.
and you want Goop for your burgers, if you just roll into our window and say, I'd like a cup of Goop, they'll just hand you a cup of Goop. It'll take us a minute. We'll go in the back, dip it out fresh, and just hand you a cup with a lid on it. It's
Y'all
like,
hear that?
Have a nice day. So Goop is for making friends.
Right.
Goop.
That's dope.
And of course, it's all being screwed up by Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, am I allowed to use real names? Hey, here's another.
Hi, Gwen.
Gwyneth, if you're watching, fuck you too. So, Goop magazine. It's bad. No.
With being in a visible yet awkward location for a drive-thru, how have you managed to maintain a great service with such limited space?
That's all my staff. They're just good.
They're-
You know, if you're in line, if you pull in and you're a car back, somebody's hustling out the door. Half the time, we actually have to say to the customers, "Are you ready yet, or would you like me to come back?" Because sometimes people, and we hear this all the time, and they're like, "I just pulled in."
Right.
Especially new folks to the place are always just blown away. They're like, "God, I hadn't even stopped my car, and there's somebody standing at my window." Because as it's such a small spot, we got to hustle them through.
Okay.
We've got that extra parking. If you haven't been there in a while,
Yeah.
we bought the other half the city block, and we use that for overflow parking. So you can park now and get out. There's
I see cars.
there's
hanging out
there's
back
four,
end on
14 tables out there. There's picnic tables. There's a covered seating area. There's picnic tables with umbrellas. There's toys everywhere.
Yeah.
I've never grown up, so there are 16 tubs of toys that completely replicate what my great grandparents had when I was growing up.
Are these some of the toys that you used to sell?
No. You know, I kick
Something
my.
like
It's like that. I kick myself in the butt now because I go on Amazon
Right.
and I buy hundreds of dollars worth of toys at the beginning of every season to fill these toy boxes. And I think to myself, I know what they paid for this.
I know, that's
I
what
used
I was
to bring
getting
this
at.
in. It's like, God, I'm paying $12 a box, and I used to pay $2.80
Right.
a box. Fuck me.
And it's cool because when you say how you have it set up outside, it brings me back to I was watching this movie called The Founder. How the McDonald's thing was put up, but that's how the old fast food restaurants were made. It was a small shack, had seating outside, and you went up to the window, or you vice versa, and you just kept it pushing, kept it moving.
Yeah, got to. It's funny you talk about that show. We just watched it for the first time the other day.
Oh,
So
really?
the next son of a bitch that says, I watched that Founder the other day, and it reminds me. I'm like, I hadn't seen it, so I didn't realize they were insulting my ass when I saw it. I said, oh yeah, cool. You think that? And then I watch it. I'm like, I'm looking at my wife like, motherfucker. The next person that says I'm like Ray fucking Kroc. I am not a violent person, but somebody got punched in the fucking mouth. Seriously. The fuck.
Oh man. So since you took over the place from your parents, what's the biggest difference on how you run the business in comparison to how they ran the business?
You know, a couple years ago, I would have told you that it was a big difference, but it's really not that big a difference. I do a lot of what my parents did now without realizing it. It's that listening to people, engaging with them, working around their schedules. My parents did the same thing. So I just do it on a kind of a faster pace scale.
Gotcha.
So I am a lot of my parents, for good or for bad. Hi, Dad. We sped a few things up. We did change a few things. We made like a dedicated drink person, because when I got in there, I discovered that it was kind of an every person for themselves. If they took an order and they needed drinks, they had to go in and ring it up, sell it themselves, make the drinks. There wasn't a person. So I made a dedicated drink person, which has sped things up. The cook, and there's a fryer, and there's a cook, and there's a bunner. And the bunner kind of floated back and forth, and now I pretty much have the bunner chained to that spot now, because we're fast enough, or we needed to be fast enough. So a lot of it was just kind of unfortunate, like your Founder movie, thank you. So, but Ray Kroc didn't invent that shit. Thank you very much.
At all.
It was the McDonald brothers that came up, but that whole thing, there's a place for everybody.
Right.
You know, and you stood them there. So there's supposed to be people that take the orders, and there's supposed to be somebody that rings them and sells them, and a drink person. And that's kind of probably the biggest thing that sped things up for us. So.
All right, you seem to be pretty open-minded. Do you allow your staff to help create new ideas for the menu? If so, how are they compensated?
I love that question right to the end. How are they? Ideas always open to them.
Okay.
I honestly can't say that an employee has come up with anything that we've used lately. The biggest new things we've had have been customers. That Dirty Bird sandwich, if you've not had that, we got the pizza version of it here today. The Dirty Bird was actually a friend of mine who sent me a note years ago and said, you should make this. And I blew it off. I didn't even write back saying, yeah, good idea. I just fucking ignored it.
Right.
And I was bored one day and didn't have anything to post on Facebook. So it's like, let's scroll through here. It's like, oh, here's a good idea. And we made that sandwich, and it is actually now the second or third biggest selling item we have every day.
Oh, wow.
So that was Jimmy Davies of the band The Dirty Birds, local coppersmith here. He's got his name is on the sign. It says, as created by Jimmy Davies of the Dirty Birds, and he eats for free for the rest of his life.
Oh, wow, nice.
So there's that.
That's
He doesn't.
compensation.
Yeah, it's compensation.
There you go.
He'll never be hungry.
Ever.
Exactly. And he totally digs the Dirty Bird pizza too. He said it is the best cold pizza he has ever had.
Oh wow.
So apparently it ages really well at night. So who knows?
Oh, there you go.
It ages very well. So as far as the establishment goes, who's the most famous person that you've had come in, and what did they order?
Ooh. I honestly don't have a good answer. I know when Governor Gregoire was governor, she came through all the time and she got deluxe cheeses.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, there you have it.
So, but yeah, that's who's the band Portugal the Man. Not only came through and ate there, but then did an online review. They took over Burger Conquest website and wrote a whole review about us one time.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Super dope.
but that's about as much as I know. I don't. If you're cooking, which is where I'm normally at,
Yeah.
I have 6 square feet of stainless steel in front of me. I don't really get to look to the left or the right.
Right.
People that know me will come through and talk. I can't hear them. I look and smile, and I hope to God you're not saying my dad died today, because I'm still going to smile and laugh at whatever the fuck you say, regardless of what it, because I can't hear you.
Right.
When I've got, like I said, a person on this side and this side, I can barely make out what the people that I'm rubbing elbows with say. So now, remove that with the cars out the window and all the people in the back yelling. If you roll up and try to have a conversation with me, better be saying something nice, because I'm just going to smile at you. Like, yeah, guys, sorry you lost your fucking legs. Sorry. Have a nice day. Hop along, whatever. So.
All right, so boom.
Oh man. As far as your establishment goes, do you have any other plans of opening another, or do you have any other business ventures you're looking to crack
My
into?
wife will tell you that changes, about every other month. I would love to own the Westside Eagans, which is currently for sale, but I can't figure out how to micromanage 2 places at once, because I gotta have my fingers in everything that goes
Right.
on.
Right.
So we've talked about it, but then there's the whole, I really don't like working anymore. This is gonna sound bad because I probably don't look it, but I'm really old. I just want to play in my garden at home, or play in the shed, pet the cats, whatever. So I'll go in and I'll cook and I'll do all the morning stuff, and I try to escape by 1 or 2 o'clock. Of course, it doesn't work very often, but it's a dream of mine. It's a dream of mine to only work 35 or 40 hours a week. So yeah, currently this month, no plans for expansion. So
We're gonna stick with the putt-putt and let that be that.
well, long term.
It's okay.
Long term is to be this old man with a putter in one hand and a Dr. Pepper in the other, and just wandering around the putt golf, challenging people to putt golf games.
Hey,
That's all I want to do.
I bet you a burger.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't tell them it's free. We just beat me and it's free. So
No doubt. Well, we definitely appreciate having you on the show. Before we get to our next segment of the show, because we do have some more to talk about, we're gonna go to an ad from our sponsor.
Hi, my name's Phil. I'm one of the bud tenders here at T Brothers. When you come in, make sure you ask about our daily specials or how to sign up on our rewards program. We also offer discounts for veterans and seniors. At any given time, we carry 80 to 100 different choices in flour from over 20 vendors. When it comes to edibles, we have something for everyone. Classic chocolates, cookies, hard candies, along with infused lemonades or even hot cocoa. If concentrates are your thing, you'll be pleased to find some of your favorites and some that you've never even tried. Looking for glass or accessories? We have you covered with some of the most affordable products in town.
Talk that talk,
with Marcus McLeod.
aka Legacy Jones.
What's going on, y'all? I am Marcus McLeod, aka.
Got him!
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus McLeod, aka Legacy Jones, and it is time for the Talk That Talk segment, where we ask you anything and everything. Nothing goes unanswered. Are you ready?
sure.
This is the meat and the potatoes.
I love potatoes.
Ah, there you go. Well, boom. Outside of your burgers, in your opinion, who makes the best burger and who makes the worst?
Is it bad if I don't really like hamburgers? If I own a fast food place that sells hamburgers?
I think if you have an answer.
Yeah, it's an oddball thing. I couldn't tell you who else. I don't generally eat hamburgers outside of my place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know that's weird, but that's just the thing.
Well, obviously you're gonna say you guys have the best. So.
Well, no, it's a real matter of opinion. I
Right.
mean, everybody's got their favorite. Everybody grew up on stuff, and it's honest to God. A lot of people's perception in what they like in a burger is what their parents told them they liked, or where they ate as a kid. It's got nothing to do with actual taste. It's more of a memory.
I want you to shit on somebody.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I will sometimes roll into my own restaurant and say, hey, make me a McDonald's cheeseburger.
No.
Yeah, I will. It's ketchup and mustard, and I do have them put 4 pickles instead of 2. And, throw light onions on there and shit cheese, and you know what? Sometimes that's what you want.
Right.
And part of that is because there's a comfort to that.
No, I get it.
So, in all of it. So, yeah, I can't remember the last time. I guess probably someplace when we were in Mexico or someplace weird, I ate a burger. So... I know, I get French dip, and I want all my shit plain. I want no cheese, no nothing.
It's like I'm not going nowhere else to eat a goddamn burger.
Yeah.
When I make them all day.
Well, and there is that too. And then I'm spoiled rotten. I mentioned to you, you all over here eating that food that I brought in here like an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. I am 30 seconds off the grill. If I'm not eating it, I'm throwing it away. Because I am used to eating my burgers hot. I don't want you to set it up in a fucking heat lamp while you're waiting for my fucking potatoes to come out of the
You
fryer.
hear that, McDonald's?
Yeah.
You hear that, Burger
I
King?
don't want to wait.
Yeah,
Give me my food. So yeah, if it's not hot, I'm not gonna eat it. So I'm a spoiled
respect it.
asshole. Period.
Okay. Respect it. What's your least successful item on your menu and why?
That would be all of the salads.
Agreed.
And that pretty much speaks for itself. I mean, we will make any burger you want into a salad. And all it is, all the stuff that would normally go on a burger bun, and we don't put the bun, and we dump it all in there. It looks unappetizing as all hell. I mean, it's lettuce and goop and pickles, onions, tomatoes, and you want bacon and cheese, and we'll chop it up and throw it on there. And it's like, why'd you come to a fast food restaurant? I'm sorry, but and I get it. You want the goop, but I'll just give you goop for free. You can go home and make yourself a better salad with better lettuce. Our lettuce is great for hamburgers, but if you're making a salad,
Right.
get yourself some spinach, get yourself some romaine, get yourself anything but chopped, shredded heads of iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a staple of hamburgers.
Right.
That's the thing. You put any other type of lettuce on a hamburger, then you're being a dick because it's not made to be that.
Right.
It's traditional hamburgers had iceberg lettuce because it's what everybody could afford when you were making burgers at home. It's what the restaurants have because what they're trying to do when you first started making burgers, you were trying to replicate your home taste.
Right.
And especially back in the day, you didn't have fancy schmancy lettuces. There was iceberg. That was
And that's it.
That's it. So that's what's supposed to be on a hamburger, but it's not a salad. So anyway,
There
salads.
you go.
So, I mean, we've had some misses. We fucked up an entire menu one time. I did breakfast sandwiches for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
What kind of
Screwed that
breakfast
thing.
sandwich?
Oh, I deep fried eggs and sausage and bacon and put it on a buttered bun, and they were pretty tasty. But I was so proud of the names that they were completely off-putting and nobody would buy them because I called them Heartstopper and Close Call and Blockage. I told people straight up what it was going to do to you. I just basically said, "Here, the shit's going to kill you. Buy this, please." And they sort of did, and we had to be in there anyway because we were chopping all the lettuce and the tomatoes and the onions and everything fresh in the building. But then we opened up the building that would become ice cream later. We were chopping everything there, and then we didn't need to be in that building, so you didn't need to have the staff. We've got a couple of holdovers. We do that glazed and confused.
Yeah, you're telling me about that.
We've got a donut that we cut in half, and we grill it on the grill, and I deep fry an egg and bacon and cheese, and we do them all. But we used to sell like 3 or 4 of those a day. Now we do it every 12 weeks, and I'll sell 200 of them in 2 hours. So we completely. Can I say this live?
Say it.
Yeah, so I throttled demand because I knew you'd all wait 12 weeks and I'll come get them at once. so I sell 100 days worth in 1 day, in 2 hours.
Wow.
We'll sell $1,000 worth of these things.
You have a time of the year that you look at?
No,
as
just
far
every
as
12
like-
weeks. It's every 12 weeks on a Wednesday. It's just, okay, and
Somebody
so
with the calendar like,
Today's the day.
they
It's
actually do.
exclusivity.
They start writing to us. Right after we do it, the week after we do it, they're like, "When are you doing that again?" I'm like, 12 weeks. So, and then we swap it up because we do that and we do a taters and gravy. So it's tater tots. It's our tater tots covered in sausage, gravy, and cheese. And same thing. We used to sell a couple a day, and now we sell them every 12 weeks, and we sell $1,000 worth of them in
Now
2
hold it
hours.
out for 24 weeks and watch
But-
people turn into zombies.
No, they get pissed. They
damn.
start writing, and they will write and say, "When are you going to sell these at night?" Because I work during the day, so we did them at night one time. And then the next time they wrote, I said, funny story, you don't follow my page well enough because I already did that.
Oh wow.
And now, though, we've got a pizza. We got a taters and gravy pizza.
Oh wow, that sounds interesting.
Oh, it's good. Anyway,
When it comes
Got
to
off track.
when it comes to employees outside of stealing and being late, what are other reasons or grounds to be fired?
I don't think we can fire them for being late. And we haven't had a flat-out thief that we've been able to catch in years.
Y'all don't have
It's
nibblers?
it's hard to get. Did you say nibblers?
Nibblers.
Oh shit, we eat all day long.
Oh, there you go.
That's one of the perks of working there. You're not supposed to eat all day long,
Yeah,
but
'cause
damn, we
we-
always eat.
Yeah, because majority of fast food, you get caught nibbling, they are sending you home.
No, there's food everywhere. God, and we're constantly making stuff. So I mean, there's always pizza floating around, and there's always there's an extra fry made, or one got cooked too long, so we can't pass it out. So there's fries sitting there. We've got one staff member that brings in like cupcakes and cookies that she makes every Saturday night. So every Sunday she shows up with boxes of treats.
Oh, nice.
It's really hard to get fired. Really hard to get fired. And then if you do get fired, it's real easy to get your job back.
Huh, well, there you go.
So like I say, I want to say it's 7 of them right now that have worked there more than once. And like I say, some of them have been fired either before I was medicated and I was in a bipolar rage, and I would just come in pissed off and just let somebody go, which was really fucked up on my part. That I hired back later, or they left to go for a better opportunity and found out that
That opportunity sucked.
yeah, it didn't quite work out for them. And we understand. I mean, it's part of growing up. It's just, the whole grass is always greener on the job thing. It's like somebody will say, oh yeah, come work for me, come drive for me, come do this, and then you get there and find out they were just shining you on.
Right.
And now it's not. And the big thing for a lot of them was the flexibility we have. And we're not open super late either. I mean, a lot of these places, especially if you're going to go work food, they're up until 10, 11, midnight.
Yeah,
we
so
close at 8 o'clock most nights, so you're home by 9.
Yeah, giving people time to have a life outside.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the spot is not big, so you don't have to worry about doing like a whole bunch of cleanup afterwards. Like you do the necessary cleanup, and then you're out the door.
Yeah. That used to be the prevailing attitude until about 2 weeks ago. We changed that. So
go.
now they're not doing the bare minimum anymore. Now they're staying a little bit later and cleaning a little bit more for me.
There you go.
The bare minimum had taken on a new meaning. So I was coming in the morning and finding sesame seeds in places I didn't like sesame seeds. So. Pet peeve of mine. You touched a nerve. Well done.
What's this right here?
Yeah.
Is this sesame?
And then I got the phone out. I'm taking pictures and I'm sending off to my manager going, I don't recognize this as something we sell. So,
Why is this here?
yeah.
Still.
Mass
Okay.
text.
If you were forced to change the name from Big Tom's, what would you name the place?
Big Mike's would sound way too egotistical, but it'd be funny. Ooh, I like that. That's fucking ridiculous.
Look.
Nicely done. Yes. Ridiculous sells, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as they're driving up the hill, we'll just talk about advertising for half a second. And Goopers is good, by the way. I may steal that from you. So it's a good thing you got this shit on film.
You know what I mean?
How do you feel about free food for life?
That's how it works.
Yeah, just one good idea and you're set. I remember.
Right.
It's got to be something to catch them. I mean, Eastside Big Tom is fine as a name. Big Tom's is fine. We've got a whole generation of children coming up now that don't even know our name, though. They know us as the dinosaur place or the dinosaur restaurant. Because we've got dinosaurs everywhere.
Right.
You have to get their attention. So it's got to be, honestly, it needs to be 1 or 2 syllables tops. Eastside Big Tom at 35 miles an hour. You got 3 seconds to get their attention as they're driving by. You ain't gonna do it that. Plus, you gotta look up in the air and look back down, and then there's these fucking dinosaurs over there making you look there, even distracting you more, and then you run into the person that's hanging out in the street because my staff didn't move them up fast enough. Another pet peeve. So yeah, let's just go with Goopers.
Goopers.
To answer your question,
Goopers.
your question, I
Okay.
can't remember which one now.
No, that
Free
was just
food
about
for
changing the
life.
name.
Right, there you
Yeah.
go.
Look, he said free food for life. I'm gonna need a cut of that. This is my show.
Before we finish it up, now I have to ask you, what are all your pet peeves?
I think you guys covered a whole bunch of them.
See, that's why I asked.
No, I am chronically late to everything I do, but I
Okay.
expect everybody else to be on time. I will tell you that today, out of respect to your message that told everybody to be on time today, I was actually early for probably the first time ever in my life.
Oh my god.
I was,
wow.
I was on everybody today. It's like you will have my burgers done by 11:35. You will have my pizzas done by 11:35. We will be on the road by 11:36. We will be there at this time. and somebody's out playing the fucking drums.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
So it's all good. You know, it's
know?
just like, we slaved over that food for you, and it's fucking cold when you get here.
Hey,
you don't
man,
appreciate
it was still
it.
delicious.
I get it.
It was still delicious.
It's all good.
I do have one other question though. My girlfriend wanted me to ask you about. She wanted to know how do you guys go about making the milkshakes? Like, is it would you ask? Was it?
It's a Darigold shake. It's an expensive Darigold mix that we use in an actual shake machine, and then it's just a vanilla Darigold shake mix, and then whatever flavors we want. A lot of what makes the difference in our shakes is the fact we use real ingredients in them. So most everybody in town uses the bottled flavor. So we've got that puts a No, it makes all the difference having fresh fruit and real ingredients. I mean, it's expensive. Milkshakes are our lowest profit item. I mean, we don't make money on them, but they drag people in.
Right.
And then we run a shake of the month.
Yeah.
You hope so anyway. If they don't,
Yeah.
So, like I say, we're not there to get rich. We're there to keep people employed.
Because literally, we were looking, when he posted up that you guys were coming, like literally everybody in the comments started listing off, oh, I used to get this. Oh, you got to get this. And it was just like, probably like north of 20 something comments of just people just expressing their love, or, oh man, I used to go there all the time, or listing off their orders. It's super dope. I thought that was super amazing.
It's a nostalgia thing. I mean, that's what makes us what we are, is the nostalgia. Again, when times are bad, we actually do better. We were actually busier during, I mean, not that I want a recession for everybody else, but bring on the next recession.
You're gonna be all right.
I know that's bad, but people, they gravitate towards us even more because of the memories. So, I mean, they're broken. They can't afford the food, but it brings back a memory. They want to feel better about what's going on. If everything else has gone to shit, they know there's a consistency. They can come back in there and they can get that burger or those fries that they got with their parents or their grandparents when they were a little kid. You know, for all of the circus sideshow crap I've got going on around there, the food is going to taste exactly like the food tasted when you were a kid, and that's what makes it for people. That's the one thing I can never change. I can fuck with everything else, but I cannot change that. And I had a lot of old people tell me that when I bought the place. So 9 years ago, there was a little article in the paper, and back when people still used to read the Olympian, and it talked about, I was bringing in the Bocas, and that got people riled up. And because of the Boca thing, people started driving up to the windows going, "You better not change anything!" Because they remember from my father that he couldn't hear on the grill, so they knew to yell at me.
Right.
So just to say, don't mess with it. You can do all the stuff you want to the outside. They wanted to make sure I wasn't going to become, as they put it, one of those fucking vegan places.
Right.
I wonder if I censored myself there. So that was kind of odd. I get clear to the end of the show, and then I start to self-censor. It's perfect. My mother would be so proud. We're not going to send her a link to this.
No.
So,
You're safe.
yeah.
Well, we definitely want to thank you for coming out and spending your time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
As well as the great food that we had today.
It was amazing. I'm full.
You're full?
I'm full.
There's still food left.
Yeah, there is food left
I
still.
see.
Well, I am Rob Sproul, a.k.a. SP.
I am Marcus McLeod, a.k.a. Legacy Jones.
Michael Fritch, Eastside Big Tom.
Big Times, episode number 9, baby.
Have you heard?
Have you heard? Have you heard?
That's right. What would a show be without entertainment talk? Keeping you updated with all the latest news and gossip happening with some of your favorite celebrities.
This week in the world of entertainment
And music.
So if you haven't heard already, the Golden State Warriors swept the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0.
Yikes.
And on that Cleveland Cavaliers team is one man said LeBron James. And for all those who don't know, he is now 3-6 in his playoff appearances. And he's been to the finals. Like 9 years straight, 8 years straight.
Yeah.
Where is he going, and do you feel like this is going to affect his legacy going forward?
I mean,
Can you really call him the GOAT anymore?
I never called him the GOAT.
Yeah.
The GOAT is Michael Jordan, period. LeBron is definitely a great player, To make it to the finals is a feat in itself that a lot of players will never accomplish, even with being great players. What he's accomplished already in his career, winning a championship, that's a feat in itself. Let alone that he has 3 rings. So that's definitely something that I'm sure he's happy with, but wants to be able to see more success.
Right. And I look at it like, because people will go on and say, oh, he was doing it all by himself, which he truly was. But I feel like at the end, Kevin Love actually stepped up and started averaging, in those last 2 games, averaged at least like 20, like 15 to 20 points. So he had a smidge of help, but at the same time, it doesn't help, because I guarantee you, LeBron's not staying in Cleveland this year.
You don't think?
No. That's a guaranteed no.
So
and
he leaving $36 million on the table?
Most likely. Because at the end of the day, wherever he goes, he's going to pull a max contract. That's just the bottom line. And what I look at it as this is Cleveland is not going to the playoffs next year, period. Once he leaves, and that's what people are going to realize. They're going to start to notice the pattern. Once LeBron left Cleveland the first time, they had a losing record for those years, and then picked up Kyrie, who Kyrie thought he was going to be the man of the city until LeBron came back. And once he left Miami didn't make it to the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm noticing a pattern.
They also lost other pieces, though, too. So, I mean,
wherever he goes next, I feel like whatever team he's going to next. Now, will he make it to the finals? Depending on what team he goes to.
Who you got him going to?
I personally feel like he's going to end up in Philly, because you're around a young team. You have plenty of cap space, and then they have a young Markelle Fultz who had a rocky first season last year, but granted he was injured for majority of it. So, but I feel like he's going to have fresh legs up under him. Then you got Joel Embiid, who's...
Are they an instant finals team, though? Because I don't see...
No. I feel like they're going to end up... It's going to come down to that Boston team again, because Boston's going to have back their pieces next year.
LeBron's 33. I don't feel he wants to go somewhere where he's going to have to wait until they get the pieces, because he doesn't have that type of time left in order to wait again for, X player to be freed up, or, who's the next guy that they can add to the team based on free agency.
But that's why I said Philly, because Philly has young stars, young talent like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. They made it to the playoffs just on them alone, just on their name alone. And they ended up falling short by Boston. But I feel like if you add a powerhouse like LeBron James into that team, it's going to be a dynamic aspect.
I could see him in San Antonio. And that's only if they're able to keep
Kawhi.
You got him, Aldridge out there. I mean, and if Pop decides to say, his wife passed away, so I'm not sure if he's going to stay, coaching the Spurs or not. But if he was to decide to stay, that I could see them being able to.
But I'll tell you, three teams that he's looking at that he's supposed to be going to visit that he's not going to. He's not going to go to the Rockets because, one, like I was telling you yesterday, at the end of the day, Harden and Russell Westbrook all left OKC because they couldn't gel together. And then they went to go run their own respective teams. Harden took over with the Rockets.
Harden wanted
Chris
to
Paul.
stay.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to give him that money. And that's where OKC fell apart at. And
then you have Russell Westbrook, who's going to be the bully of the team, who's going to, because I was telling you, I was watching the thing where the teammates were not necessarily, they were stat chasing. So they were missing out on rebounds just so he could get it. Oh, he's about to get that 40th triple-double.
That's
you know
weird.
what I mean? It happens because there's clips that show it. But I don't feel like he's going to fit there.
Who wants the legacy of a loser, though? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not getting a chip, you just playing for these stats. I mean, that looks great on NBA Live.
That is very true.
I mean, outside
with the
of
89, 98 rating, you know what I mean? That's cool. But at the same time, the main focus of being in a professional sport is to get a ring, is to get a championship.
Right.
And I feel like his greatest chance, to me, is being with Philly.
I'm just tired of seeing players bounce around being team whores.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, there's got to be some point where you decide that this is who I'm sticking with through thick and thin.
And everybody before we get off of this, everybody's talking about him going to LA. Him and Paul George going to LA. If they both go to LA, the Lakers are literally going to have to give up 75% of their roster. All their centers, all 4 of them, got to go. They're going to have to move Kyle because you're not getting rid of Lonzo Ball. You're not getting rid of Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. Those 3 are staying.
Right.
Those 3 are, and then in order to give them a max contract, you have to free up a lot of cap space. Yeah. You'd have to get rid of Luol Deng, but he's not going anywhere unless you either trade him or actually give up some picks to get him. Give up some first-round picks to get rid of him. But I feel like Paul George will work there, but I just don't feel like LeBron will. It'd be unnecessary. So look for the moving truck. Wherever you see the mover truck, that's where you'll know he'll end up being.
Well, there that goes. He has houses in LA too, so.
That's the one that he had got the racial slur written on his garage door.
Yeah,
Yeesh.
but he has a couple of houses out there, so we'll see what happens.
Who
Anyways,
knows?
we want to know how you feel about that and where you think LeBron's going to be going to.
Let us know in the comments. Share, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Let us know so you'll be notified the next time we put out a new video.
Lil Wayne, 12th studio album, The Carter 5, should be on its way sometime soon. I'm assuming this year due to settling things with Cash Money / Universal and Birdman for an undisclosed amount. Some people were saying 10 mil. I heard that it was more. Who cares? He's a free man. He will be putting out his next project through Universal.
Because Universal dropped that bag. Nothing came out of Birdman's pockets. I don't feel like, okay. I low key want to ask how you feel about it, because I feel like in that type of situation, I feel like if it was through Birdman and Cash Money, so pretty much in the nutshell, Birdman got away scot-free without having to pay a dime. When you really look at it.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like is there still going to be animosity because somebody else had to pay for your troubles, because they're like, you know what, we want this project, we want you over here.
Well, he's a free man moving forward. I mean, that's the biggest thing. He hasn't released an album since 2015, and everybody's been waiting on his Carter 5 since then. So I mean, like, it's just great to know that he has the opportunity of being able to release some good content. We're hoping to see what happens, especially with all of his mini-me's floating around.
Right. And I guarantee,
benefiting from.
And I'm pretty sure that he's recorded thousands of songs within those years. Because I feel like originally he did put it out, but he put it out in like a mixtape form, but then it was taken down within like a week, because I had bumped it for like 2 weeks, and then next thing you know, I bumped it for like a couple days, and then next thing you know, it was just poof, it was gone. It was out of sight, out of mind. And it had like a couple it was like a 13-14 track album. Well, they put it out as a mixtape because I remember when at the heat of the feud, he said, all right, I'm gonna put it out, I'm gonna give it to y'all for free. Bump them, whatever the case, because if they owe me money, I could care less if they losing it.
I think that was a marketing ploy just to kind of give the people something.
Yeah,
I think there would have been more of an uproar from Birdman
if
and
it
Cash Money if it was the actual real project.
All right.
And when we talk about legacy of like an artist and someone of the stature of Wayne, there's no way he's gonna go half-assed with something and be like, here's the free album,
right?
And this is supposed to be, a portion of like where he started from Carter, the Carter, and here we are at Carter 5.
But you also have a person that's mad, that's upset. You know what I mean? So people do things irrationally.
You're right.
Out of emotion, out of anger. So,
right.
And that's probably, I can't think of who, but I'm pretty sure that there's been people that have been mad that their album was either leaked or something like that. So they just out of spite, out of anger, just put it out like here. Like, you know what I mean? Because you know how certain artists...
It didn't gain no momentum, though.
At all.
So
because it was gone before it even was able to build momentum. But you know how people are when they have, like, everybody's rollouts are different. Certain rollouts are calculated from what we've seen with the last couple weeks. Pusha T used his rollout, used the beef to amp his rollout for his album Daytona that just released. And what
he didn't know the Drake situation was going to be what it was. He had took shots at him, and they had been going back and forth for some time.
And he's getting sued.
Yeah. Well, they had been taking shots at each other for some time now. So for Drake to rebuttal finally,
right.
That helped ramp up his situation, and then he rode that wave.
But then look at Kanye West, all the antics, all the BS, and then I feel like I don't like people. I don't like when people use the antics to help their rollout as opposed to putting out a single. Because Kanye didn't put out a single for that album.
Right.
Neither did Pusha T.
Right.
There were no singles to those projects. It was all not necessarily antics on Pusha T's end, but on Kanye West's end, it was a lot of antics behind it. The same thing that goes with Tekashi when he puts out. No, but he had singles.
Kanye really stressed it from a numbers standpoint because he's looking at it like, man, all of these young kids is making all of this money and the visibility that they gain immediately. When you think about Kanye, you think like it would be instant success just because he's putting out a project. But now the game moves so fast, and in order for him to have that look at me factor, he has to do something that says,
crazy,
look at me.
Because because back when Kanye first really started getting off, I know we're getting off topic, but even you could take it then. When Kanye, Lil Wayne, all of them were originally putting out like the College Dropout, the Carter, the first Carter, the second Carter, albums to those nature, people were going in stores, buying albums, spending money.
Let's talk about that. The facts. 2007, Lil Wayne was on just about every song on the radio. 2008, the Carter 3 was released.
1.5.
That was his best-selling project. He did 5.3 million on that project, but he did 1 million sales in
1 week.
1 week. These are physical copies.
Yeah, these aren't like streaming wasn't a thing.
This is before streaming.
You couldn't go because you couldn't really go on there. YouTube was around,
right.
But YouTube was in the startup phase. You couldn't go on YouTube and find.
This was LimeWire.
Yeah,
days.
these was BearShare, LimeWire, all those giving you computer aids and stuff to that nature. Because once you got that stuff in there, it was all bad. But those were those days where it was like physical copies. But nowadays, there's so many streaming services to where you're not necessarily worried about if somebody buys it. That's why you'll catch artists doing little vlogs and stuff going when their album drops. They'll go to like a Best Buy and buy out like 50 copies of their CD, and then they'll just you know what I mean? I'm going to support my guy. I'm gonna buy all. Hey, let me get with DJ Khaled does it all the time. Goes to the Best Buys, Walmarts, wherever, and will buy out his whole stock in the store, and then he'll just hand them out because, you know what I mean, it helps with the numbers because he knows. See, Khaled is strategic. Khaled is smart because he knows people aren't buying CDs anymore.
Right.
At the end of the day, I feel 2021 CDs are going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
Because now you can already look at it now. They're taking CD players out of cars. Like the newer models of cars aren't gonna. I have a 2016 and I don't have a CD player in my car. It's literally Bluetooth, USB, and aux. Well, there isn't even an aux. It's a Bluetooth and a USB, and that's it. But a lot of cars are starting to do that a lot more often, and so now you're getting prices for Bluetooth speakers going down because they're trying to take this aspect of CD
out of the picture,
just like how they did with VHS when the DVDs came about.
Yeah, definitely that, man.
But I'm excited for it if it's coming, if it's on the way, and I'm glad for Wayne that he's finally out of that umbrella. I wonder now. What I want to ask to you: how do you feel that whole situation is going to affect their feud? Birdman, Lil Wayne.
I think for him, he should just be focused on his project, just because he has a lot of making up to do for his fans. You know, just because of people waiting, anticipating for the project, or just some kind of solid piece of work from Wayne.
Because he dropped No Ceilings was it No Ceiling 6 or was it The Drought?
No.
I think it was one of those two where he dropped it last year in 2017, and it wasn't that hot.
Right.
They had a couple good songs on there, but it wasn't really. But you remember back to the days where it's like No Ceilings 1, No Ceilings 2. Those were all heavy hitters.
Right.
But that's when he was in like prime go mode. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like Wayne is out of his prime. That's how, if I had to put it in a way like that, I'd say that he's out of his prime.
The crazy part about it is that he's still in a space to where he can still create music. He's young enough to still be able to relate. Wayne is 35. You would think with the years that he's put into the game,
He'd be in his 40s.
that he'd be in his 40s by now. But, you know, he started when he was, 12 years old, when he was on Bling Bling.
Was he that old?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
How do you feel his numbers are going to do first week? I don't need an exact number, but how do you feel he's going to do first week? I don't feel like it's going to be.
I don't think it's
It'll
gonna
be pivotal
crazy.
Wayne. Like,
I think his first week numbers we talking album, he'll probably do like close to 3.
close to 300. That's doable. I understand.
And it's not bad, but you got to remember it's these kids now.
Yeah.
So it's really about them.
It's really about streaming, really about the easiest way to access music. That's how I look at it nowadays. It's like, can I play you on my Spotify? Can I play you on, even for local talent? It's hard to really, like, it's hard to really gauge people like, oh man, I got a CD for sale. I'm like, oh, well, where can I download it somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's one of the a major factor is where can I find it online?
Yeah.
I'll buy your CD, but I want to be able to listen to it on my phone. I'll buy it from you as in support.
Right.
And I probably won't even open it, but I want to be able to, you know what I mean, hear it on my phone. And that's mainly what today's game is now.
The game has definitely changed. Well, let us know what you think about Lil Wayne being free, let alone Carter 5 finally having an opportunity of seeing the light of day.
Where's my lighter? I wish I could do the lighter flick. As soon as you hear that lighter flick, it's going down.
Wayne spawned all of these other littles that are out there now in the game and stuff. So that's what we want to see what happens. I want to see. I ain't gonna say I'm crazy excited about Wayne's project, but I am one of those that pay attention to everything moving. So
I want to know if he still has that same step. Because
Yeah.
Wayne's always been a spitter though.
Yeah.
But I want him to get back to the everybody swerping down the Carter 2, Carter 1 phase was the best Wayne. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I liked Carter 3 Wayne.
Carter 3 is the best.
Carter 3 Wayne was so hard. That's like saying College Dropout was the best Kanye, in my opinion. College Dropout and Late Registration was the best Kanye.
It was.
But, like, share, subscribe. Let us know how you feel. Make sure you hit that bell so you'll be notified the next time we put up a video. And episode 9.
Nina.
In the bag. Definitely want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, T Brothers.
And we'd like to give a shout out to Mike Fitch, the owner of Eastside Big Toms, for coming through, giving us some insight on how he got started in the business, as well as the great food that he brought for us to sample today, as well as the new pizzas.
Goopers. Remember that name and who said it.
Definitely that. Yo, I am Rob Spruill, a.k.a. SP.
I am Marcus McLeod, a.k.a. Legacy Jones.
And this is episode 9 of The Daily Grind.
In the bag.
If you gonna get it, then go get the daily grind. This is where the hustle never stops. The daily grind. Focus, watch me make it out of nothing. The daily grind. Keep pursuing, rise with me to the top. The daily grind.
Wake up. It's the Daily Grind
Daily Grind.
with SP and Legacy Jones.